I hate Nintendo as a company, and I don't care what anybody has to say to me. This company has consistently proven that they don't care and they're not going to change their ways. They are actively harming themselves and their fans. I've seen this company for years purposely harm the consumer and the competitive scenes for their games. And now before I do the unthinkable and defend the Smash community for the first time in my life, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as it does help me out tremendously. Also, thank you to everyone who let me use their footage for this video. All of their social media links will be linked down below in the description box, as well as their names will be on screen for each of their respective clips. Now on to why I fucking hate Nintendo. I have first-hand boots-on-the-ground experience from hanging out and helping run Smash tournaments at the old Aeon Gaming venue. I've helped them out with both Melee, Smash 4, and Smash Ultimate, and I honestly do feel bad for the entire competitive community. Watching Nintendo have a history of throwing cease and desist orders for tournaments both online and offline really does throw me off. The latest example of this happening is with the Big House this past winter, where they were using a modded version of Melee, and Nintendo yeeted the banhammer at them. Melee is old as shit, and it was released on the GameCube over 20 years ago, so the fact that the community was able to emulate the game with good net play shows you how die-hard Nintendo fans are. Now, this isn't the first time Nintendo has tried some stuff to snub the Melee community. In 2013, they went to pull Melee from the Evolution lineup. Now, for those of you that don't know, Evolution, or more commonly referred to as EVO, is the biggest fighting game tournament in the entire world. Keep in mind that the Melee community that year raised over $94,000 for breast cancer research just to get their game into the tournament, and Nintendo just attempted to say psych and yoink it from the event. Now, after enough blowback, they did drop it and allow the originally scheduled stream and tournament to keep on running. Keep in mind that Nintendo also just dropped Pokken Tournament and Splatoon from the spotlight out of absolutely nowhere. Nintendo has all the potential in the world to run esports leagues with die-hard fans from across the world, yet they simply just don't care about their games and aren't willing to give them or the community the support they deserve. And this completely just blows my mind because I come from the fighting game community, where our games have lasting support and official tours where the developers actually support us with regularly scheduled patches and clear communication between the developers and the community. I just don't understand how Nintendo doesn't see the potential Smash has as a competitive title. Smash majors themselves have thousands of attendance and tens of thousands of viewers via streaming services like Twitch and YouTube. Smash Ultimate at EVO 2019 had 279,000 concurrent viewers. That's how big the community is. And for a local like Aeon Smash Ultimate number 3, it had 136 players. Keep in mind, that was just for a local tournament. And I've also been able to see how die-hard the Splatoon community is, as I was there for Beacon 1, one of, if not the largest Splatoon LAN event in North America. And I've also seen Pokken tournaments run at every fighting game major I attended, and every interaction I had with the player base, I just love them, and I wish they were supported by Nintendo. Nintendo is sitting on a goldmine with their competitive titles, and Nintendo does have the ability to support a fully stable esports ecosystem for all of their titles. Aside from their competitive games, Nintendo's anti-consumer policies are also just as frustrating to see. It seems that they just don't care about their fans. And now let's take a look at Captain Alex's Etika-themed Joy-Con shells. Etika was a beloved content creator who tragically took his own life, and as a tribute, Alex decided to make and sell Etika-themed Joy-Con shells to raise money for charity. And Nintendo, you guessed it, LTG'd the shit out of Alex's Etsy store. Now, while Alex said the Joy-Cons weren't the sole reason that his store got shut down by Nintendo, it still goes to show you that good intentions involving Nintendo don't do shit. And then there's the Super Mario All-Stars bundle for the Switch. Nintendo made this a timed exclusive, only letting it be on the eShop and producing physical copies for 6 months. This artificially inflates the worth for physical copies and created a false sense of urgency to buy it, and not to mention, this shit costs $60 for games with absolutely no updates. Now for comparison, the Crash Bandicoot remakes only ran you $40, and those had extra content added to them, as well as being full-blown remakes of the original games. Now Nintendo knows that their fans will shell out the money, and they honestly just don't care. Aside from the games we have, the Nintendo Amiibo shortages when they first came out, oh my god, do not get me started. And I'm also going to throw the scarcity for the NES Classic Edition here, just so we have the holy trinity for Nintendo. Oh yeah, and just for some more icing on the shit tier cake, there's also the Joy-Con drift issue, which has personally affected me, as to when the first time I actually decided to use my Switch, I had Joy-Con drift. For those of you that don't know, Joy-Con drift causes the Joy-Cons to perpetually be stuck and moving in one direction, which essentially just renders them useless. And it's such a prevalent issue that Nintendo has been and is currently involved in some legal battles with Joy-Con drift. Oh yeah, and Nintendo servers for online games such as Smash and Splatoon have the absolute worst and most dogshit netcode out of any console I've ever touched. Smash Ultimate players are just switching to Yuzu, a Switch emulator that has better netcode than Nintendo's official servers. And now there's a lot more shady stuff Nintendo has done, and I'll link more articles down below, as well as the ones I've used for this video. I grew up on my SNES, my GameCube, my Game Boy, and my DS. And some of my best memories as a kid was playing games on my GameCube with my friends from school on a Saturday afternoon and looking up how to do post-game stuff in Pokemon Emerald and Platinum. I remember being so excited going to the release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver with my aunt. But the older I got and the more I started to look at Nintendo and hear about them, honestly, I'm probably never going to support this company again, no matter what game they come out with. And I refuse to give them 1 cent that I earn after seeing the way they treat their community, from a competitive esports aspect and as an avid lover of video games. Nintendo lost my respect, and honestly, they will never make it up to me, unless they pull a divine miracle out of nowhere. And honestly, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Like I said earlier, links to all the articles and videos I use for research will be in the description box down below, as well as all of my socials. Also, a big shout out to all of the homies that let me use some of their own footage for this video. Thank you guys so much. And all of their social media links will be in the description box. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. Be sure to like the video, comment down below some other video ideas you guys have, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload.